Okay, I just had to make a comment about race in general. I think the wrong way to go about, I guess, eliminating racism is to illustrate how we're all the same. We're no different from each other. I think that's wrong and that's inaccurate, but rather the approach we should be taking is educating and informing people on the topic of race in general. I've taken an anthropology class, which I think everybody should take if they have the opportunity to, and I've learned about race. It doesn't make sense. Race is a fallacy, and it's inaccurate, and there's so many contradictions and gray areas in this subject, and that's what people don't realize. Okay, so let's take race. Race is defined as identity. However you identify yourself is essentially what you are, I guess. And then ethnicity is defined as similar culture. People with similar customs, similar cultural practices are part of the same ethnicity. So, given that, I think things would be much clearer if people would just understand those two simple terms. So, again, there's also another thing, it's people misusing terms. Like, Spanish, I constantly hear, and that's wrong, because where I'm originally from, New York City, I'm around mainly Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, and they constantly refer to themselves as Spanish. That's wrong. Spanish, meaning from Spain, means Caucasian. Spain is on the continent of Europe, meaning you are white. You are not white. You are Latin or Hispanic, and then Hispanic is another word that's used incorrectly. Hispanic means Spanish speaking, so therefore Brazilians are not Hispanic. They are Latin. And then there's contradictions within race. I had a friend who was from Honduras. Honduras, which is in Central America, if some of you don't know. And then I'm from Guyana, and you probably don't know about that country because it's so small, but that country is right above Brazil. It's on the continent of South America. But yet I'm considered black, and my friend from Honduras is considered Latin. That doesn't make sense. That's a contradiction. She looked no different from I did. She was darker than me and had the same hair texture and had the same physical features. How is it that we're from the same general area but are part of a different race/ethnicity? That's a contradiction right there. And then the inverse is also true. Someone like Leona Lewis, Craig David, Sporty Spice, they're all British. How is it that they can fit in the same category with someone like me? Again, contradiction. And then there's yet another term used incorrectly, African American. But this one, it's kind of different though, because I guess the term black has gotten dirtied up a little bit, and calling someone black is like teeter-tottering the fence of being offensive, so people shy away from that word. But African American is constantly used wrong. I'm not an African American. Like I just told you, my mother's from South America, so technically I'm Latin. I identify as black, not African American. There is a difference. Barack Obama is an African American. His father's from Kenya. I am not. So, again, more contradictions and people being misinformed. So, my bottom line is that people need to understand the concept of race in general is a fallacy, and it doesn't make sense, and I think that's the route we need to go, because illustrating that we're all the same is not going to get us anywhere, and it obviously hasn't gotten us anywhere.